Let's get right into the Heroic Era unit for Season 8, the Greyhair Garrison. Before we do that though, disclaimer, this information is from the preview event. It is subject to change. The localization also wasn't complete, so some names and descriptions may also change. You will see a watermark over the screen with ID numbers as well. With that out of the way, let's get into the Greyhair Garrison. The Greyhair Garrison is a unique 4-star unit from the Heroic Era. They sport 3 different weapons in the same unit. To take them onto the battlefield will cost you 240 leadership. They are unlocked after the 3rd challenge stage. If you use them, they sport 4 different traits. Grizzled Veterans. The unit can use a variety of weapons in battle. Each weapon inflicts a different effect on enemies. The short sword and shield excels at defensive counter-attacks. It can block while attacking and also get around enemy blocks to daze enemy units. The longsword uses powerful attacks while in formation and is capable of attacking multiple targets at once. The polearm waits for opportunities to attack the enemy's weak points, increasing the amount of damage they take. By the book. When health falls below 40%, so it appears red, the damage is increased by 25% and each attack restores 10% max health. Duty until death. This unit is not affected by head count restrictions. Chang Dynasty. Leadership costs reduced by 15 during Season 8, making it 225 during Season 8. There are 2 formations available for the Greyhaired Garrison. 3-rank formation is great for defense. They set up with shields in front, then longsword, with poleaxe in the 3rd rank. Wedge. In wedge formation, the unit gains the shield rush skill while in the wedge. This is good for charging. There are 2 unit orders. Charge. The unit charges in the direction specified. This is better when done from the wedge formation. During the charge, the short sword and shield soldiers protect the units behind them. The long sword soldiers will attack units that get in range. The polearm units will strike enemies' weak points, increasing the enemy's damage taken from the infantry charge. A large part of why wedge is better is the polearm units are in front. Therefore, their debuff will trigger for the other soldiers during the charge. They also have the Last Stand order. Greyhairs ignite their last bit of life force to strengthen their morale. This can only be activated in 3 ranks formation. Changing to a different formation will weaken the effect. The short sword soldiers use their shield to defend the formation, enhancing the ability to resist damage. The longsword soldiers will attack enemies ahead of them. The polearm units stab enemies, applying a debuff to reduce the damage the enemies deal. There are 2 Veterancy lines for Greyhair Garrison. Before either line is a 6% increase to health. The top line is a focus on damage and last stand. Notable boons are the damage increase to piercing and slashing, the block break increase, and the last stand damage and cooldown reduction. The bottom line focuses on defense and survivability. Notable boons are the defense increases, health increase, and last stand damage reduction increase. Both lines appear to be a viable choice for the unit. I did not get much testing done between the 2 lines. I only got testing done for the top line. With that being said, I can already tell you that they are going to be more of a defensive unit with the 3 ranks formation using Last Stand. And other content creators have informed me that the top line does seem to hold out against the bottom line when compared. So at the moment, I would call the top line being better due to the cooldown reduction to Last Stand, as well as the blocking break-in information from the other content creators. As for Doctrines, they don't appear to be classified as Spear or Sword and Shield, so the options are limited. I would run Slashing Doctrine, Slashing Damage Doctrine, Breakthrough Doctrine, Siege Fighter Doctrine, and the Greyhair Doctrine 2. The Slashing Doctrines could potentially be swapped for Piercing due to the polearms being the main damage. With that being said, 2/3 of the unit is slashing, so I went Slashing Doctrines. The Breakthrough, Siege, and Greyhair Doctrines are also just damage increases. The Greyhair Doctrine 2 unlocks after the 4th stage of challenges. Before we get more into the units, let's see what testing I got done. No doctrines or nodes were used for these matchups. Greyhair Garrison is a unit that will reward players that know what they are doing. Their last stand allows them to take a good impact from infantry units. Players that are good at managing their units will benefit from taking an infantry impact and returning it with a charge attack. With Greyhair being able to take out berserkers and doing fairly well against paladins, I could see them being used on the walls during siege battles for defense. The main downside to the unit is with only 8 soldiers having shields. If you get past the shield units, they will die pretty easily for their era. With all that aside, this unit has me excited. I feel they will be rewarding for players that like to manage their units. I hope this video gave you a look into the Greyhair Garrison for Season 8. Keep an eye out for more Season 8 content as I keep releasing videos from the preview event. If you want to support the channel, you can use my content creator code when getting content creator packs from my games. With that, until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield. Thank you for feeding my berserks.